Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. I've got sunshine coming through my window. How about you? As always, thank you for shopping with me. I appreciate that. And if you're watching on YouTube, if you could share, like, and subscribe, that would be so wonderful. Would love the help with the algorithms. And I think we can get started. Whoops. Hold on one sec. Just minimize something when I wanted to not minimize it. Okay, here we go. And say hi if you're out there. I'll try and check when I'm up above the camera. Oop, I'll probably just move that all out of the way. Okay. So, as always, thank you for shopping with me. Keeps me going, bringing you new stuff to see. All right. So, I want to show you some sneak peek new products. I showed you the paper last week, or actually last week. I showed it to you yesterday. And I wanted to show you a couple of stamp sets. This is Aspen Grove, which I'll be using a lot, and Endless Love, which is your Valentine's. Okay, I'll leave those there for a second so you can look at them. They are in the new January through April mini catalog that will be coming to you. Some of you are getting it mailed to you. If you'd like to be on that list, send me your email or message me on Facebook. And I will get the next one out to you. It would be the September through December one of 2026. Or the main catalog in May. So let me know. I like to do that for my customers. So that's what we're talking about today, and I have a couple of tricks for you. So let's get started. All right. So the first thing I did was I took some just lightweight paper. If you have big sticky notes that are about that size, that are about, 4 inches, then that would work. I just stamped my aspen trees on the paper and then cut it out. Okay. And what we're doing is making a mask. Then what's really helpful is this silicone craft sheet and your glue. This glue you can use multi-ways. You can use it as a glue right away, or you can put it onto something and let it dry, and then it's like a sticky note, okay? Which is what I did to the aspen trees. So I've already stamped and made my little masks. I like to start kind of just go halfway up with it. Hopefully you can see that. And then when you get up here, oops, it's good to get it on the, just kind of push those around. Now, when I cut these out, I cut very close, and if it doesn't quite get it, just pick it up easily, gently, easily, that's not a word, gently, and put it back down. Sometimes it might take you a bit. So I want that to be covering what I want. If you cover too much of the white, then the next step won't work. Okay, so I've got my masks on there. Okay, and if you don't let your glue dry long enough, it'll stick rather than be pull off later. So then all I'm going to do, let me get a piece of scratch paper, is we're just going to do some blending. We need a blue sky background, right? So get a little ink on, take a little ink off, start from the edges and roll it in. Okay, and I'm not going to do all of this, but I just want you to get the gist of it. I always tap it off. If you start out slowly, you won't get a blob like this. And you're just conditioning that paper, and the more that it doesn't look like you're doing it, you're actually getting some ink on there, and it will blend really nice if you just approach it as gentle. Okay, and you can vary the colors too. And I like to kind of do the edges, give them a little bit more of an edge. So I come off of the page onto the page just to get that edge a little darker. Kind of defines it for when it's going on the card. gives you kind of like putting a layer of paper behind without actually doing it. And if it's not enough, you can always do it like this and get a little more. So you just work all that in, okay? Pretend that I did all that. Actually, do I need to do that? I need to do a little bit more. Hold on. I know, it's like watching paint dry. And I pushed too hard there, but it's okay. We're gonna have some leaves in there. Like I said, variation, right? So let's get down here where I didn't get any. Sorry, I know, it's like watching paint dry, right? But hopefully I give you a couple of tips and help you to be a little bit more successful with your blending, okay? All right, just gonna get that on there. Ta-da, we're done. Love these blending pens. All right, so now, let's get that out of, well, I might need that. Now we're gonna just gently pull off, and I like to start at the bottom, and I kind of put my finger under if I need to push it up, but I've done these a couple of times, so it's okay. All right, and then you could just save those. So just save that off camera, hopefully. And just pull them up gently. They start to stick, just, you know, wiggle it a little bit. Put your pokey tool under there. Your little, oh, what is it? The little spatula blade on your pick tool would help to get under there. Okay, a couple more, one more, two more. Actually, I don't know why I put it over the black. I really didn't need to, I don't think. Talking to myself. So there is one down here. But I don't know that I really needed to, but anyway, that keeps it a little bit blacker, right? All right, so we've got that on there. Now we need to add some leaves. And this grove, Aspen Grove, has 3 different leaves. This one's kind of fuller, and these are a little bit lighter. And you would think that you would put them on your trees like that. I actually turned them over and had my trees coming down. Oh, the blue I used, in case you want to know, is Balmy Blue. And this green is Old Olive. Okay. So, I want to make sure that we're really inked up. And we want to do it upside down, if you will. And I'll try and mimic what I did before, but I don't know if I'll be too successful. So I just kind of did some, this is kind of like my fill-in part. And then I want to go to, I'm just cleaning it off camera. Then I want to go to a little bit of a holier look. Holier. A little bit less dense. That's the word I'm looking for. Less dense. Less density. Okay. And we're overlapping a little bit. That's okay. And you can even leave a little blue sky there if you want. Oh, I sound like Bob Ross and his pretty little trees. We're making pretty little trees today. Okay, I'm gonna wait on that. Clean that one off. And sometimes you have to scrub because it gets down in here. I've used a different color, so. And the last one, which is even more open. I like that. Just come down here, add a little bit more. Okay, so just do what you like. Less is more. If you need to add a little bit of fill in, you could do that. And plus, by doing that, it gives you a little bit of a buildup of the color, if you will. It's not taking it off like second generation, but it's kind of building it up. And if you don't know what second generation is, when you take the first layer off and you use the second or the third layer, sometimes you can get as many as 5. But then when you add on top, you just double up the color, the full strength, if you will. Okay, that is done. Then I added a word, and then and where did I add the word from? I added the word from another stamp set that I will be using next Friday. So isn't that pretty? Now, if it was for a girl, you could add some sparkles and stuff in there, but mine is not, so I didn't. The other thing I used is from the online for November, the Earthly Matte Dots. And these are nice because they're nice and they're pretty flat. And they're also, if you can see that, they're not super bumpy. They have a flat top on them rather than a dome top on them. And I like that they're matte. And let's show you the card I made. There we go. Added a little bit of black cardstock behind it. And this piece, if you're interested in, is 4.5 by just an 1/8 shy of 4. 1/8 shy of 4, 4.5 this way. And I'll hold this up so you can see it. Nice little guy card. You can see I got a little heavy here, so I put more here and less over here, kind of like it's like directing the sun and stuff. So there's card number 1. Let's show you card number 2. And I have a couple of things that I wanted to talk about. I still use those dots. I did a circle with the stylish shapes instead. This cardstock, I wanted to show you what I did. I found my piece of paper. Here it is. And I used the same colors, the old olive. And then right here, this was just this color of paper. So I started with the balmy blue paper. But then I went and got, believe it or not, light crumb cake and went over the tree trunks. And they're still kind of greenish blue, but I like that. It looked better than them just this really light color, okay? So there's a tip. And then what I wanted to show you is, I don't know if you can see around this edge, maybe a little, that there's like this dark color. Because and that's that paper that I showed you the other day, which is, I know, squirrel, right? Which is Nature Walk paper. And what I did on that one is I used Early Espresso. And all I did, so there's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can just tap it in, and it gives you kind of an edge. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Or you can brush it and get more of an edge. And of course now I can't get more of an edge because I want to get more of an edge. But you can brush it and build up the edge. That's a little more built up than this one. Okay? So just a couple ways to do it to give yourself a little bit of a frame without having to frame it with an extra piece of cardstock, if you will. Get my fingers cleaned off because, you know, you open ink and it's all over. And I love how this paper graduates. So you can see in here, this is the piece that I used. So it was that piece right up here that I used. Okay. A couple of circles, again with the stylish shape dies. Love those. And this is also from that paper pack. And then a little thread, which the thread is from the Baker's Twine Essential Pack. I love that because there's just a nice neutral bunch of colors. Okay, and this, so I edged it with the Early Espresso, really dark, but the trees were done in pecan pie. Okay, all right, card number 2. Card number 3, I totally went a different way, and that's where I pulled in the Valentine's kit and the Valentine's paper, which I will probably show you next week, so I'm not going to show it to you today. But I just wanted to show you that this is part of the Valentine's paper. This is Early Espresso, just to give it a layer. And on here is also, again, this light crumb cake. The blends have 2 different markers, a light and a dark. And they have 2 ends, a fine point and a brush point. So I just went over those with the crumb cake. Let's see. So again, I used Early Espresso and Cherry Cobbler. And I used the leaves just in red. And this one I did do 1st and 2nd generation. So you stamp it down on 1st, and then you use the ink that's left. One thing to keep in mind is if you're going off the edge, then don't use that 2nd gen. Otherwise you'll get a piece that has darker color and lighter. So if you go off the page, stamp it again, stamp it on your scratch paper, then use it as a second gen. Okay? And I took this little heart, cut it out. I stamped it on there, cut it out. And then just use whatever you have in your supplies. Where did it go? Here it is. I just found one of these little metallic markers, Jelly Roll. And what I did with that, I'll hold it up so you can see. Let's see. Well, I drew a line in a little bit, and then in here, there's just those little dots, and that is what that is. It kind of gives it a little sparkle, and you'll notice that these have some gold in them, and they're kind of pink and white, clear. It is online from May, but it still might be on line, and it's Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink Gems, and they also had some clear. So, like so. Really pretty with that gold flakes, and they also have kind of like a square on them, so that really kind of picks up the shine, if you will. Okay, what else? This is a little bit of the Valentine's paper, which I'll be showing you. This is another stamp set that I'll be showing you soon. And that is card number 3, as I always do. Just a little quick video for you today. Give it a try with the masking and the layering of your sky behind, or just start with blue paper instead. Or switch it up and use a totally different stamp set. So, which one's your favorite? 1, 2, or 3? I'd love to know that. And if you try it, I'd love to see what you did. So, take care. You can get these products in January. And thanks for watching. Bye now.